After 5 years with my boyfriend, I discovered I was pregnant. I was over the moon, cut my business trip short, and rushed home to surprise him with the news. Instead, I walked in on him down on one knee, offering a diamond ring and a bouquet to his childhood sweetheart. When he saw me, he didn't even flinch. "It's just a ceremony, no marriage license. Don't be so petty." I laughed, shredded the positive pregnancy lab into confetti, and gave them exactly what he wanted. But Nathan came crawling back. On what was supposed to be their wedding day, he knelt in front of me and begged for forgiveness. Before we go on, subscribe to this channel and tell us in the comments where you're listening from. I stood outside the private ward, flexed my stiff fingers, and drew a steadying breath before dialing Nathan's number, shattering their tender embrace. The sudden ring made them jump. Nathan let go of the girl, frowned, and answered with unmistakable irritation. "Ivy, I told you I'm on call. Why are you calling?" It felt as if something had lodged in my throat, the words came out dry and cracked. "On call? Funny, your call involves proposing to someone else?" My voice shook the moment I heard it. "What?" Nathan froze, instinctively glancing toward the doorway. His gaze collided with mine, his eyes went wide. "Ivy, what are you doing here? Aren't you on assignment?" He stepped in front of Hannah almost reflexively. I walked into the ward. "My trip wrapped early. I wanted to surprise you, but it looks like..." My eyes flicked to the diamond in his hand. "You're the one who surprised me." At my words, Hannah shoved Nathan away and tumbled off the bed. "Ivy, please, it's not what you think. It's all my fault. Don't blame Nathan." Her delicate face was pale, her eyes shimmering with tears. Startled, I instinctively reached to help her up. But Nathan assumed I meant harm, his face darkened as he violently shoved my arm away. "Ivy, if you're angry, take it out on me. Leave Hannah alone, she's innocent." I was wearing stilettos. His push sent me sprawling across the cold hospital tiles. A searing pain shot through my ankle. Tears sprang to my eyes as the joint ballooned and flushed crimson. Nathan hadn't meant to topple me. He froze, flickers of remorse crossing his face, then reached to help. Hannah scrambled up and deliberately blocked him, dropping to her knees in front of me, palms pressed to her cheeks as she sobbed. "I'm sorry, it's all my fault. I should just die, then there'd be no misunderstanding." Nathan's outstretched hand landed on her shoulder instead. He lifted her gently and folded her into a soft embrace. "Hannah, it's okay. Ivy will understand. Stop blaming yourself." Then he looked at me. "Ivy, let's talk at home. I can explain everything." Watching him soothe her, I'd never felt more hollow. I bit back the pain, gripped the bedside table, and hauled myself upright. "Explain what? That my fiancé used my absence to propose to another woman? Where do I fit in your little play?" Nathan's brows pinched. "Do you have to be so ugly about it?" "Ugly?" I bit my lower lip, cold sweat beading on my forehead. My nails dug crescents into my palms to ride the pain. Hannah spoke through sniffles. "It's my fault. I'm terminal, and ever since we were kids, my one wish was to be Nathan's bride. I know you two are getting married. I'm not trying to take him. I'm dying. Let me have this ceremony, and afterward I'll give him back. Please?" Her eyes shone with desperate hope. Nathan's face twisted in anguish. "Ivy, it's only a wedding on paper. Be generous. Let's walk her through the final chapter, okay?" Generous? I wanted to laugh and cry at once. The man who'd shared 5 years of my life suddenly felt like a stranger. When I stayed silent, Nathan sighed and stepped closer. "How's your ankle? Do you want me to take you to the ER?" I took a limping step back and shook my head. "No. I need to be alone." I limped to the courtyard garden beneath the building, pulled out the crumpled lab, and stared at the black and white image. I'd meant for it to be a joyous surprise. Now it was just shock without the joy. With a bitter smile, I shredded the paper and tossed the pieces into a trash can. Nathan never came home that night. He walked through the condo door at dawn, eyes bloodshot. I was on the sofa. He rubbed his temples, exhaustion etched on his face. He sat beside me. "Ivy, Hannah and I grew up together. Her parents treated me like a son. Now she's dying, I can't refuse. You know I love you. The ceremony means nothing, we won't sign anything legal." I kept staring at the glass of water on the coffee table. When I didn't answer, he raised his voice. "Ivy, are you listening?" I met his gaze at last. "Your first words to me aren't about my ankle. You're here to sell me on your wedding charade?" He faltered, then rushed to explain. "That's not it. We've been together forever, you know me. Hannah's family to me. I can't let her die with regrets." He glanced at my swollen ankle, feigning concern. "Does it still hurt?" "Nathan, is she really just family, or is this something more? I studied his face for a long moment, my voice finally softening. Before he returned, I'd lain awake all night. I would give him one last chance. Not for him, for our child. The doctor had warned me, my body rarely conceived. If I lost this child, I might never have another. I couldn't give up this life, and I didn't want it growing up without a father. Of course. Nathan's eyes lit up. He squeezed my hand. After the ceremony, I'm done with her. You're the only woman I'll ever call wife. He whipped out his phone and speed dialed Hannah, unable to contain his grin. Hannah, Ivy said yes. See? I told you she'd understand. Stop crying. I'll take you to pick your wedding gown in an hour. His smile stretched ear to ear. Let Ivy tag along. Girls have better taste. I want her opinion. Hannah's sugary voice floated through the speaker. Absolutely. He agreed before he even hung up, never consulting me. After the call, he pulled me into a half hug and murmured, I know this hurts now, but later I'll give you the grand wedding you deserve. My chest felt hollow, my throat burning, but I told myself again, endure it, just until the ceremony is over. At the boutique, Hannah fluttered along the rack, arms loaded with 3 gowns, hesitating over each one. The dresses were heavy, she wobbled. Nathan emerged in his tailored tuxedo just in time to catch her sway. He sprinted over, plucked the gowns from her arms, and thrust them at me. Are you okay? He clasped her hands, scanning her for injuries. Once he'd made sure Hannah was all right, he turned to me, voice edged with reproach. Ivy, why didn't you hold that for her? Hannah's in poor health, she can't strain herself. I'm fine. Don't blame Ivy. Hannah gave Nathan's hand a little swing, the corners of her mouth tilting upward. Nathan, which one do you think looks best on me? She lifted the satin wedding gown from my arms and held it in front of the mirror for him. Hannah looks beautiful in anything. Nathan ruffled her hair, indulgent. I'd been standing so long my feet already throbbed, the heavy gown pressing against my forearms, a dull ache beginning to bloom in my belly. Nathan, I wanted to tell him about my pregnancy, that I didn't feel well. But he just waved me off. Wait a minute. At last Hannah settled on a gown. I finally drew a breath, only for her to beam at me and say, Ivy, go pick one and try it on too. This style would suit you. She shoved the cast-off dress into my hands. Before I could refuse, Nathan steered me to the fitting room curtain. Go on. Try one with Hannah. I want to see you in a wedding gown too. The curtain slid shut. With the assistant's help we stepped into the gowns. Hannah dismissed the clerk, then sauntered over, smile thin and bright. Ivy, do you really think a few years with him outweigh the 20+ I've had with my Nathan? Her stare was no longer pitiful but triumphant, spite glittering in her eyes. What do you mean? I frowned, a bad premonition crawling up my spine. Guess what? If I tell him you shoved me, who do you think he'll believe? Still speaking, she tousled her hair, then screamed and toppled at my feet. Before I could react, Nathan burst in. Seeing Hannah on the floor, his face went black. It's my fault. Don't blame Ivy. Hannah bit her lip, tears streaming. I didn't. I never pushed her. I felt the words choke me. Listen, she did it on purpose. I grabbed Nathan's sleeve, desperate. Stop it, Ivy. Hannah's seriously ill and you're still bullying her. I misjudged you. He flung my hand away, I crashed to the carpet. Pain knifed through my abdomen, warmth seeping between my thighs. Nathan, my stomach. I curled over the cramp. Ivy? He hesitated, took 2 steps. Nathan, I can't breathe, it hurts. Hannah clutched her chest, pale and gasping. Nathan glanced at her, then at me. Quit pretending. Hannah's critical, I'm taking her to the hospital. He scooped her up and strode out. Spots exploded across my vision, cold sweat soaked me. Help me. I whispered to the clerk before everything went black. I woke to the sharp bite of antiseptic and knew my child was gone. I had wanted to protect him, give him a home. Instead, he'd slipped away. I'd been a fool. From the moment Nathan proposed to Hannah I should have walked away without looking back. I never wanted to see him again, never wanted to hear his voice. I dried my tears and checked my iPhone, no missed calls, no messages. He was still with Hannah, no doubt. I typed 3 words and hit send. We're done. While checking out, I passed Nathan's office. 2 young nurses whispered outside his door. He dotes on his girlfriend, stays overnight, tucks her in like a prince. Imagine having a boyfriend that devoted. Yesterday she fainted and he sprinted to ER like some movie hero. They say he's already proposed. So tragic she's so sick, fate. Cruel. A cold laugh escaped me. Even the hospital believed Hannah was his girlfriend. Everyone saw their romance, everyone but me. I couldn't stay another minute. Today I would move out of the loft we'd shared. But finding a new place on short notice was impossible. I called Zoe. Do you have a spare room I can crash in for a few days? She heard the rasp in my voice and didn't pry. None free, but Chase just came back. He's working at your hospital, hang on, I'll get him to find you. She hung up before I could protest. I leaned against the window, watching the tide of white coats below, until a warm baritone sounded behind me. Ivy? I turned. A tall man in a white coat lounged in the doorway, smiling. Long time no see. Chase? You're back? Zoe's cousin was the senior I'd once carried a quiet torch for. He'd left for fellowship before I graduated, and we'd lost touch. Started here last month. Zoe said you needed rescuing, never thought it'd be you. He adjusted his wire-rimmed glasses, gaze sweeping the private ward before settling on me. All alone? I'll tag along. You don't have to, I travel light. His expression turned stern. No arguments. You just had a procedure, I'm not letting you lift anything. The simple concern stung. A near stranger cared more than Nathan, who'd left me crumpled on a boutique floor. Okay. After we move I'll buy you dinner, I said. Chase drove me to the loft. It was silent, Nathan hadn't returned. Our engagement photo still hung in the living room, once sweet, now obscene. I yanked every picture off the wall and shoved them into the trash, then zipped 2 suitcases. Chase waited on the sofa. Seeing me wheel the bags out, he raised a brow. That's everything? I nodded. Everything that matters. He took the handle. Then let's go. The front door opened before we reached it. Rest on the couch, Hannah. I'll cook. What about Ivy? She's sulking. Ignore her. Nathan and Hannah stepped in, arms linked, and froze at the sight of us. Nathan's face darkened. Ivy, who is this? You bring another man into our home? I spared him one icy glance. Chase, let's leave. He blocked our path. Stop the theatrics. You still owe Hannah an apology for pushing her, and now you're storming out? He stretched out an arm, blocking Chase and me. I let out a laugh. Throwing a tantrum? You give yourself too much credit. Nathan, I said we're done. Marry whoever you want. We are over. Hannah immediately launched into her performance. Ivy, don't be mad, okay? It's my fault. I won't marry Nathan, just don't leave. Her green tea routine made me roll my eyes. Stop the act. You got what you wanted, so enjoy the trash you picked up. I stepped around them, ready to go. Nathan, red-faced, grabbed my wrist. Ivy, what's the point of this spectacle? He still thought I was throwing a tantrum? Let go. I yanked free and slapped him hard across the cheek. Quit bothering me. Go marry your childhood sweetheart. May you two rot together. Nathan, Hannah gasped, rushing to check the red mark blooming on his face. He stared, stunned, not quite believing I'd hit him. She shielded him, eyes flicking toward Chase. How dare you hit him? What did he ever do to you? Who is this man? Did you cheat on Nathan? Who do you think you are? Our business is none of yours. Unable to hold back, I whipped out the hospital lab and flung it at Nathan. That shove in the bridal shop cost me my child. One slap is getting off light. Miscarriage. His face drained of color, he knelt to gather the papers. How? Why didn't you tell me about the pregnancy? I tried, right while you were proposing to Hannah. I thought I could wait, for the child's sake. I was wrong. The child is gone, and you never deserved to be its father. Ivy, wait, I didn't mean, doesn't matter. Goodbye, Nathan. I took Chase's hand and left the drama behind. Ivy, Nathan shouted, then panic rose in his voice. Hannah, are you okay? I smiled bitterly and didn't look back. Sorry you had to see that. Only after we were in Chase's car did embarrassment hit me. He'd watched every mortifying second. No worries, he said, glancing over. Does your hand hurt? Huh? I blinked. Not at all. I should have added a couple more. He chuckled, then leaned across. In the sudden closeness, the clean scent of detergent filled my nose and my breath caught. Your seatbelt, he murmured, clicking it in before easing back. Inside the quiet cabin my ears burned, my heart pounded. Chase's place was in the building next to Eastbrook. I fit the key, then asked, I'm staying here, where will you be? He smiled, pointing at the neighboring unit. Right there. I own both condos on this floor. After he carried my suitcase inside, he said, rest. Call if you need anything. I nodded, eyes stinging. Chase, thank you. He ruffled my hair. Still the crybaby I remember. Cutting that relationship clean probably helped. I slept like a rock. Doctor's orders kept me home 3 days. The next morning the bell rang just after I woke. Chase stood there with takeout latte croissant. Just off night shift, brought breakfast. Slight bruises of exhaustion shadowed his eyes. I accepted the soy milk and steamed bun, grateful. Thanks, Chase. Take care of yourself, he said. Warmth flooded me. In the loft I'd shared with Nathan, I was always the one frying eggs. The few times I asked him to pick up breakfast he'd claimed he was too busy. Love really is blind. Once the scales fall, the guy looks awfully ordinary. 3 days later, on my first morning back at work, a courier envelope arrived. Nathan and Hannah's wedding invitation, 2 weeks away. Clearly Hannah's idea of a taunt. Nothing in her behavior screamed terminally ill. I hesitated, then texted Chase. Could he find out what, if anything, was actually wrong with Hannah? Any reward if I do, he teased. What do you want? Let me treat you to dinner, tonight? You call that a reward? Yes. Say 7? My mood lifted. Deal. Because he had an evening shift, we picked the bistro beside the hospital. Over dessert he slid several reports across the table. Turns out her diagnosis was a mistake. She knows, but she insists on staying hospitalized another 2 months. Misdiagnosis? My eyebrows shot up. So she's perfectly fine. Chase nodded. Nathan the cardiac surgeon, duped by a make-believe tumor, how poetic. Hannah's terminal plea, her dying wish to marry him, all fiction, cooked up to rip us apart. My child had paid the price for her vanity, and she would not get away with it. What are you going to do? Chase asked. She invited me to the ceremony. I'll bring a special gift. Let's see how understanding Nathan feels once he knows she's healthy. I tapped the reports, voice icy. I walked him back to work. Fate parked Hannah and Nathan at the entrance just as we arrived. I tried to slip past, but Nathan spotted me. Ivy. He tugged Hannah over. Stop this. I messed up, come back. After the wedding in 2 weeks everything can be normal again. Hannah's lips curved. Ivy, you'll come, right? I studied her smug face, lowered my lashes to hide the irony, and answered sweetly, of course. May your day go exactly as planned. Nathan's eyes lit. So you forgive me? Chase cut in, voice calm. It's late, let's get you home. Breakfast tomorrow, what would you like? I nodded and turned. Nathan lunged for my arm. Wait, what is he to you? Chase stepped between us, expression cooling. Don't touch her. I'm asking what he is to you. Nathan snapped. I'm the man pursuing her. We spoke together. My face flamed. I met Chase's gentle gaze, stunned. I let her slip away once, I'm not letting it happen again. He curved his lips into a smile and added, and I owe you, Nathan. You handed me this chance. Back at the loft, my mind was still reeling. Was Chase actually pursuing me? Running back through every moment since we'd reunited, there really had been a string of tiny oddities. Still half doubting, I rang Zoe. So you figured it out. My brother's been crazy about you for ages, studying abroad just got in the way. The minute he landed he pumped me for news about you, so when you asked me about condos I knew his moment had come. On the other end of the line Zoe claimed full credit. Well, he's quite a catch, right? Think about becoming my sister-in-law, don't abandon the whole forest just because one crooked little tree let you down. Let's just see where it goes. I rubbed my burning earlobe and hid my face in my hands. After the unspoken became spoken, Chase's campaign turned blatant. He planned every single meal, sent flowers and gift baskets to my office daily, and had the female staff sighing with envy. When the Nathan story made the rounds, they summed it up, out with the old, in with the new. Soon came Nathan and Hannah's wedding day. At Zoe's insistence I brought Chase as my plus one. Nathan was greeting guests at the door. When he saw us arrive together his brows knit tight. You had to show up just to spite me? I gave a light laugh. How could I spite the groom? Hannah, unable to wipe the smile off her face, chimed in, Ivy, thanks for coming. Happy to. I nodded, tucked my hand through Chase's arm, and walked into the ballroom. Nathan's face turned ashen and he started after us, but Hannah yanked him back. Nathan, with all these people, are you trying to embarrass me? I lowered my lashes, hiding the grin in my eyes. Wait, someone might get far more embarrassed in a minute. The ceremony began. Sitting in the audience, I watched Nathan lead Hannah step by step toward the stage. Once, I'd fantasized about walking down the aisle with this very man. Now I only thanked heaven I'd seen through him early. Next we'll share a short montage telling the story of how our couple met, grew close, and fell in love. The officiant announced. Every light died, the huge screen blazed to life. But what rolled was security footage. In it, today's bride, dressed in her wedding gown, yanked her hair into a mess and then pretended to fall. The spotlight snapped to Hannah on stage, her face drained of color, and she clawed at Nathan's hand in panic. Nathan stared at the footage, eyes bulging in disbelief. Then came scanned lab reports, line after line stating Hannah was perfectly healthy, no illness whatsoever. No. It's all fake. Hannah shrieked, hurling her bridal bouquet at the screen. Turn it off, shut it down. You did this, Ivy. I stood, a mocking curve on my lips. Hannah, you brought this on yourself. Did I force you to fake sick, or beg you to fake a fall? You tricked me? Nathan flung her hand away in disgust. I sacrificed my own child for one of your dying wishes, and now you tell me it was all a con? Hannah, how could you? It's not like that, believe me, Nathan. Hannah sobbed prettily, clutching him and refusing to let go. For the sake of your childhood sweetheart, you tossed me and our child aside. Tell me, Nathan, was it worth it? I asked. His complexion cycled between white and green, eyes bloodshot. He suddenly jerked his arm free and slapped her hard. Bitch! Bedlam erupted on stage, relatives from both families piled up to separate them, turning the wedding into a complete circus. The officiant and I exchanged a tiny conspiratorial smile. Money can move devils, swapping a montage was nothing. The marriage was off, and the Sterling family dropped the act for good. Hannah's entire clan had known she was feigning illness. Their plan was to let things simmer until Nathan caved and married her. Mortified, Nathan's parents ordered him to wed her anyway and pretend none of it happened. He refused. I keep telling you, she's like a sister to me. If she weren't sick, I'd never have agreed to this ceremony. In the end, the Reeds and Sterlings broke relations completely, yet Hannah wouldn't give up, camping outside Nathan's or every day. Chase gleaned the gossip during shifts at Eastbrook. Most of Nathan's colleagues had come to the Doom Ed wedding. The scandal was hospital-wide. When I heard, I couldn't help snorting. Looked to me like he enjoyed the attention. Chase grimaced. Exactly, can't respect a guy who can't choose. Tell me, if he crawls back, would you ever? I burst out laughing. What are you imagining? Of course not. Then can you think about us? Chase's cheeks flushed faintly. Ivy, I'll treat you right forever. Will you be my girlfriend? Maybe it was the beautiful night air. My head nodded before my mind could protest. Okay. Chase pulled me into his arms. A clean whiff of sandalwood surrounded me. I love you. I wrapped my arms around his waist and whispered, love you too. One evening after work I waited for Chase as usual, but the moment I stepped outside I saw Nathan. Ivy. He hurried over clutching a bouquet. I was deceived, I lost my head. Give me one more chance, please? I frowned. Nathan, you're an adult, don't you have a mind of your own? Hannah says jump and you leap? We're finished, stay away from me. He couldn't believe it. Impossible. After everything we shared, you can just say it's over? Word by word I answered, the day we lost the child, we ended. No, you're still angry. I was wrong, so wrong. His eyes pleaded as he reached for my hand. I stepped aside. Keep this up and I'll call security. Back away from my girlfriend, now. Chase strode up and punched him. Nathan staggered, a red trickle at the corner of his mouth. Girlfriend? You two are. Yes, we're together. I laced my fingers through Chase's. And we won't be sending you a wedding invite, it's bad luck. I tugged Chase away, leaving Nathan standing there hollow-eyed. From that day on I never saw Nathan again. 6 months later Chase proposed. We held a grand wedding at sunset. A year after that, to my amazement, my pregnancy test turned positive, and I gave birth to a pair of adorable twins. Around the same time I heard Nathan had finally agreed to marry Hannah, only to back out again at the last second. In AR. Hannah rammed him with her car, leaving him seriously injured. She'll spend the coming years behind bars. But that has nothing to do with me. Watching the sweet babies in their high chairs and Chase busy in the kitchen, I know the best part of my life has just begun. Thanks for listening to today's story. If you enjoyed this montage, please like and share it with friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing tales. See you next time.